welcome back to the Tarot Cottage. My name is Amy. I'm back today with a pick a card reading for you. A big welcome back to my beautiful returning subscribers. Thank you guys so much for being here, and thank you for your continued friendship, your continued support. A special big thank you to everyone who has reached out to me on Instagram and Etsy. You guys are amazing. I'm so happy that I've had a chance to connect with you guys on such a personal level. If you have found yourself here for the very first time, we want to welcome you here, so please join us. Grab yourself some snacks, get a cup of tea, get cozy, and we'll have a little chat because we're all friends when we gather here together. I do pick a card readings on this channel, so if you do subscribe, be sure to drop me a comment below so that I can enter you in for a chance to win a free reading with me. And if you have entered for a chance to win, be sure to check your notification bell notifications, because I'm still waiting back to hear from a winner. So be sure to check your notifications in case I have messaged you. But today we are looking at a new pick a card reading, and today's topic is about staying or leaving. And this can be any situation that you find yourself in. Perhaps it's a love situation, a work situation, whatever the case may be. We're going to ask spirits advice on whether or not we should stay or whether or not we should go. And we have 3 piles for you to choose from today. Pile number 1 here with the red feather. Pile number 2 with the yellow feather. And pile number 3 with the purple feather. So whatever pile or piles are calling out to you, there may be a message waiting from Spirit, and my timestamps are going to be listed below. I'm going to jump right into pile number 1, and I'm going to write down and list the decks that I use in the description box because I can't remember all of their names right now. So just check that link out, or not link, but they'll be posted below. So whichever pile is calling out to you, there may be a message. I'm going to jump right into pile number 1. And again, today we're asking Spirit about whether you should stay or whether you should leave. Whatever current situation is on your mind and plaguing you right now. Pile number 1. Hello, pile number 1. You were drawn to the red feather, and this is the Guardian Angel Tarot. And this is your reading. Whatever situation you have on your mind, whether it be a relationship, whether it be a career choice, whether it be a home, should you stay or should you leave this situation? What is Spirit's advice for you? Pile number 1. Now this deck is interesting because it has these little verses underneath. This here says, embrace those around you. This says, this is a time of great spiritual growth for you, making it even more important to surround yourself with those who love and share your beliefs. Be willing to accept help from others. You can find comfort in traditional solutions, or your heart may long to try out new ideas. So the Hierophant. Should you stay or should you go? Please, for pile number 1. A happy change. Wheel of Fortune. Your angels have heard your prayers and have banded together to create real and joyful changes in your life. Events begin to move forward, and great progress will now be possible for you. Pile 1. Already Spirit's giving you all sorts of beautiful messages about movement. About movement here. We have the 6 of emotions, but there's the 6 of cups. So when we start to create change, you're being pulled by nostalgia right now. You're being pulled by this sense of longing for familiarity and longing for the past. And this is definitely a moment of flux where you're going to have to power through this period, because this is going to hit us no matter what sort of change is upon us, whether it's really great change or whether it's really sad change. This is going to hit us, this nostalgia, and it's powerful. It's a powerful influence. It says memories can fill your heart with many emotions, and it's important to remember your past accurately without seeing it as better or worse than it actually was, because it says people you used to know may return to your life unexpectedly. Children could be an important issue for you, or you may need to reconnect with your own inner child in order to make this decision. We have here the Messenger of Action, and that is the Page of Wands. And we have the 2 of Cups. Spirit is really adamant here that it may be time to leave. It may be time to go here. We have the Healer of Abundance, which is the Queen of Pentacles here. And I feel like for someone watching, this could have something to do with relationship or position within your relationships or within the institutions that you are a part of. For instance, we have Open Your Heart, which is the Lover's energy, and it says, allow love to grow and bloom all around you. You've waited for this emotionally fulfilling experience for such a long time, and now it's time has come, and make your choices by listening to your heart and following the steps that you feel guided to take. Here is the Hermit, I'm sorry, here is the Hermit energy here, the spiritual teacher, which is asking you to spend some time alone so that you can focus and make a distinct decision in the present moment. But Spirit is adamant here that your experience matters too, and that you may be making decisions here based on the emotional happiness of other people, including potential children, but take that as it resonates to your situation. But I feel someone here could have children, or children are a factor, a huge factor in this decision as well. But Spirit still is adamant that even if there are children as a factor or other complications, that not taking advantage of action here, you could be doing yourself a disservice. Back of the deck is the Page of Pentacles. And they want you to know that moving forward and saying yes to this change and deciding to move, you know, is going to bring you more positive outcomes than you expect. And I feel like it's positive outcomes for everyone involved, as well, as much as we feel like we could be breaking some really strong codependent attachments here that are no longer healthy for anyone involved, including children, if that is the concern. But for others, it's not a physical person that's the concern. It's not children necessarily. You may be deciding to leave another person, but it's this nostalgic rememberings, it's this nostalgic thought that keeps flooding you with all of the buyer's remorse of leaving. Because it's scary. It's scary to go into an unknown, even if the past doesn't hold a lot of great things, even if what we're sitting in is still, you know, obviously lacking something, it's still familiar. It's still familiar. And so it's easy to get used to anything sometimes. And Spirit can see your indecision, but they want to remind you gently that you are perhaps making this choice out of fear of staying, instead of choosing to move forward when you feel guided to emotionally to do so. And there's the Queen of Swords with the King of Pentacles. So we have the Queen of Pentacles here, and now's the King of Pentacles, and we have the Tower. Spirit is really, really adamant for you, Pile 1, that this fear of the unknown, this upheaval that you're really fearful of creating in your life, the Tower is shaky anyway. This foundation isn't as solid as it needs to be. And your emotional experience matters. I don't care how much abundance is there, how much security is there, how much expectations from others is there. Your emotional experience matters, and that's what could be waiting for you if you decided to move forward. A happier, more fulfilling, emotional, abundant relationship could be waiting for you. And this Lover's energy is encouraging you to make a decision, perhaps between two people or just one situation, and wanting to move forward so other possibilities can open up for you. But this Page of Action, this Page of Wands, is encouraging you. It says something new and exciting is related to creativity or your career or home comes to your attention, and you feel energies to learn, and you're ready to get going. Although you may feel insecure, it says do it anyway. It says this card represents someone in your life, or a person, a situation, a relationship, and it's asking you to try everything in life. That's what our purpose is here, is to try everything. So even though it creates perhaps upheaval, they want to gently remind you that it'll all settle. All of the clouds, all of the clutter, all of the confusion, even this feeling of reminiscing energy, it's all going to settle. You will find a new normal, and a new equilibrium will hit you. We have here focus on the positive outcomes instead of the negative outcomes, because it's the ego that's fueling all of this consequence at us right now. But if we can turn our heart space into a focus on love and abundance, and this is an acknowledgement with the Queen of Swords that she doesn't revel in this move, but she finds it necessary. She finds it necessary to be a leader in her own experience and take back control of her own experience emotionally. And that means making what needs, or taking the steps that are needed to be taken here. We have here, reveal what needs to be seen. So you may be suppressing a lot of your true emotion in this environment that you're asking whether you should stay or go. And if you are in an environment that requires you to stay stifled, that in and of itself is evidence of perhaps it's time to trust in the universe and to go with the flow here and to surrender to a new beginning. Advice for pile number 1, please. Spirit says celebration is near. It says a toast to friendship, 3 cups and happiness, 3 cheers are done. Back of the deck says bless this space. Your sacred space holds the soul to bear. Palo or Santo or Sage will clear the air. And it's all about clearance, clearing out the clutter, clearing out the emotional clutter, clearing out unnecessary positions, situations, things, people that are no longer serving our journey. We have here, come to the edge. And we do have mending. They want you to know that everyone involved and everyone affected by the upheaval will be okay. They will be okay. And they are just asking you to have that last push, that last effort, the last strength to be able to take that leap of faith into the unknown. And they want you to know that everything will be okay. Everything is working itself out in its perfection, and everything will be okay if you choose to leave or go. So let's get that charm bowl for you, pile number 1. So your guides are adamant that perhaps you should go at this point. But of course, they want you to know that they've given you lots of tools of reflection so that you can make the discernible decision in the present moment, because that's the only moment that truly counts. Advice, please, for pile number 1. What's waiting for them if they decide to go? Healing, refocus. Here's the Ace of Pentacles. Here's the Justice. You're so afraid to walk outside of this position. You're so afraid of what's coming for you. And the stress is like giving you perhaps even depression, or it's just giving you so much anxiety. And it doesn't feel fair too. It's like, it doesn't feel fair that you have to make this choice in the first place. But this star energy, the other side of that leap, Spirit just wants you to understand about how much, first of all the clarity that is afforded to you there, and your ability to look at this situation from a distance and to look back and see the necessity for it. You know, the necessity for you having gone through this phase of life, or this position, or this relationship, for instance. And there's a beautiful healing and a redirection waiting for you on the other side. Beautiful Aquarius energy, Libra. Very strong Libra energy, very strong Hierophant, so Taurus energy here too. So that may be signs that you are, even Gemini. You may be a Gemini if you're the Divine Feminine. We have in, we have the, we have I in the bowl. We also have here Pisces energy in the spring. It says live your dream, because you may have been living for other people. Even the Divine Feminine whale tail here, the pink one, it's about surrender, expressing yourself and surrendering to your true emotion. We have here a connection written in the stars. So there was a certain amount of destiny that brought you to this position, whether it be a relationship, a job, whatever the case may be. I feel like it's really geared towards relationships in this pile for you, pile 1. But whatever brought you here was purposeful too. You were meant to experience this, but now you may be meant to move forward and experience something different. And that's why the frog is here. Trust your intuition and clear out the clutter. We have here a silver dollar from the Calgary Stampede. It says Pete Knight on it, and it's not worth anything. It's from 1982, but I used to think of it like a gold doubloon. It's like something that's not really, really valuable to anyone else but me. So there's something of value to you that is only valuable to you, and that's your emotional experience, and that's why it needs to be taken care of. All right, pile number 1, that's what I have for you today. I hope that it resonated. And if it did, I would love to hear your story below so that we can get some words of encouragement back to you, so that we can connect with you, so that other people in the beautiful collective can respond as well with their similar stories. So if you feel called to, please drop me that comment below so that I can enter you in for a chance to win a free reading with me as well. And if you are new to the channel, be sure to drop your comment below as well so that I can get a chance to put you in for a chance to win a free reading. I also have links below for Instagram, And I just post about what we're doing and post pictures of my day, pictures of my family on there if you're interested. And I also offer private readings through my Etsy account, and that link is below as well. But I hope that you have a beautiful day, and I hope that you come back here for another visit at the Tarot Cottage. Hello, pile number 2. You were drawn to the yellow feather, or to this great big green deck. I don't remember the name of it, but I'm going to look it up and post it below. And this is your reading. Should you stay or should you leave? Whatever scenario you're being influenced by, whatever you're being plagued by, this decision, Spirit is going to give you their take on it, their advice. But of course, it is your free will of whether or not you want to take their advice, of course. But should they stay? Should they leave? For pile 2, please. We have the 8 of Pentacles. The Queen of Cups. We have the Lovers. The 7 of Fire, 7 of Wands. We have the Emperor. Back of the deck, we have the 7 of Cups, and we have the 4 of Swords. I'm going to clarify this. Should pile 2 stay or leave, please, Spirit? The 4 of Swords. The Magician. The 8 of Cups. Eight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles. We do have the 3 of Swords, and we have the Moon. I do feel like in this situation you could be plagued by a really heavy decision in your relationship, maybe even in the work realm for you as well. But there's such emotional attachment to it that regardless, this is a really hard decision for you. And I feel like your decision is being precipitated by a really emotional outburst, or by something negative happening, or maybe even multiple negative things happening, because there's so much pain associated with it. And so Spirit, at this moment in time for you, pile 2, they don't want us to make any sort of permanent decisions in this sort of state of upheaval, in this kind of confusion that we're feeling, because we're being influenced so much by our emotions at this moment that this Moon, there's with the 10 of Swords, we can't make a plan in this state of darkness. You're going through a very dark period, whether it be in your relationship, whether it be emotionally, and it's impossible to make a positive plan to create change when we're in this type of depression or sadness or such disappointment. So you're sitting in a period where you're feeling so emotionally unfulfilled, and it's filling you up with that emotion. I almost feel like I could cry. I just feel so sad. I just feel so sad. And this is stealing your focus. It's stealing your power right now. So in this case, Spirit is advocating for you to take a pause right now to reflect before you make any big decisions. They are asking you to stay for the moment, only because we can't make decisions by this light. Even 4 of Swords are asking for a retreat. And I feel like you're ready to leave. I feel like you're like, I need to for my own sanity. It's like but they also want you to know that whatever has caused this pain, the worst of that pain is over with. The worst of it is over with. And now this impulsivity to make a decision is being asked by Spirit to be tempered a little bit with patience, with more work and more effort into the situation, into the scenario, whether it be a relationship, whether it be the work environment. They don't want you to make any reckless decisions in the moment. There is a sense and a message coming through from this Divine Masculine about wanting to prove themselves, wanting to showcase dependability. Again, I feel like I could cry right now. I'm so sorry if you're going through something really terrible, if you've been hurt really badly, for instance. And again, Spirit is very adamant that this is your decision to make. They're giving you their perspective on it. But the purpose of this tarot reading is to give you tools of reflection so that you can make a discernible decision in the present moment. They want you to have your wits about you before you make the decision. So for this moment, they're asking you to stay so that you can make a discernible one. And there's something about powering through here with determination that we can overcome this obstacle if we try. If we put the effort in, it's not insurmountable is what Spirit says. We may not feel like that. We may be hearing that message of, oh, it's not insurmountable, and you're like flipping me off on the other side of this message. And Spirit's acknowledging that too, that you're not in a state right now to sometimes even hear their advice. And that's okay, because they're sitting with you and they're helping you during this period, because your heart's hurt. But you can even see with the Queen of Cups, her eyes are closed because she's in need of rest. She's in need of further reflection. And the purpose of the Lover's energy is to make a decision, but to also look at it from every single angle before we act. And that's why Spirit's asking you to wait and to not move forward at this moment, because there's something about change that can creep in and growth that can creep in this situation that will bring you back to a state of security. This may change. You may decide after this period of reflection that you still want to move forward, and Spirit again was going to follow you down that path. But in the present moment for this reading, they are encouraging you to hold off for now, just so that we can figure out solutions if there are some for us in a state of clarity. The situation just requires further information, further reflection. We do have here, own your power, and the Magician is below. So right at this moment, we're not feeling confident enough to wield change, and all of our power is being given to the emotional realm. We have here the Swan, and free yourself of guilt and shame. For someone watching, not for everyone, you could have dealt with a really bad heartbreak involving another person, for instance, a third party. So take that as it resonates. We have here forgiveness on the back of the deck. Forgiveness, it says let go of your judgments, which is very hard. It's very, very hard. It's a very hard, I feel like this is a really difficult situation for you, and it's plaguing you. It's like you don't even want to be put in this position, perhaps, to make this choice. It's like, I don't even want to be here to make this decision. And right this moment, this porcupine is so protective of itself. You know, it's so, you know, the poor porcupine is really, it has no protection other than those quills. So without them, they have nothing. So it's like right now, without this emotion protecting you, you feel like perhaps you have nothing to make this decision from. That's why they're asking for a pause point, because whatever has happened hasn't stolen the truth of you, hasn't stolen your worth, your value, your lovability. This Swan, the Grace, you can see she's reflecting back at herself. And so she's spending time appreciating so she can bolster that confidence. And that's what Spirit's asking you to do right now. They're asking you to wait and not move forward until you can make a decision from a higher perspective and from a place of emotional surrender. It's like where we have forgiven so that we can start that healing cycle. And that's not even to say, again, that you won't decide down the road that you are still going to move forward. They're just asking for a pause point at this moment. Stay or should they go? Stay or leave, please, Spirit. We have here, remember who you are, and that's what this reflection period is for, is to help you, wipe your tears and straighten your crown. You are a powerful, loving, and creative child of God. You are very, very loved. We have here, clear audience. Notice the loving guidance you hear inside your mind or from other people during this phase of reflection as they signify divine guidance. And then we have victory. It says your prayers have been heard and answered. Have faith. And that's why they're asking you for a pause point, because they say that there are solutions to be had, and there is a certain amount of desire to prove dependability here from the divine masculine. It's like, I need time and patience to be able to prove myself or to showcase how reliable I can be. please, for pile number 2. Whoops. On the floor, we have here Three-Eyed Raven. As sunrise hits upon the dew, a messenger raven calls out with news, prepare for the unexpected. And I feel like whatever has thrust you into this decision was really unexpected and hurtful. Was really unexpected and hurtful. Which is why you're probably like really thinking I should move. It's like you feel like you should move forward. But it says deeper. You are not finished. You are not yet done. Dig deeper and deeper. The best is yet to come. Hold on, hold on. And we have the art of life. There is no sacred light in the aura of an invisible life. Be bold in your skin and let love dance in sight. And so they're asking you to dig a little bit deeper into this situation before you make a tentative plan, because there is an essence of working through some of these obstacles and powering through determination so that things can start to move forward again in a positive way. Let's get a charm bowl for you, pile 2. Pile 2, what is waiting for them if they stay? What can they expect to change if they take the advice today? Oops. So we have here the Judgment. We have the King of Pentacles. We also have the Emperor. We have the Emperor here too. Very strong Taurus energy here today. Also a Gemini energy as well. And a lot of water as well. Scorpio. But this change, you're going to see a marked difference perhaps in a divine masculine energy. There's more security. You can see that the Emperor goes from this dry energy into a lush surroundings of the King of Pentacles. It's a reestablishment of foundations. And then this Judgment is talking about the necessity for further reflection. That's why it's reversed. It's like we're not prepared at this moment for brand new beginnings because we need to spend more time growing out. Even this Knight of Pentacles is planting new seeds in this desert to create the lushness. So it needs more patience. It needs more care, and it needs more work put into the situation. But it can bring about brand new beginnings. With the Judgment, it's like a brand new day, like coming back from the dead. It's like a start over, a do-over. We have Star and Song. We have the letters V and Y and O. We also have here the Sacred Heart of Jesus, so there could be a Catholic connection. We have Song and Star. The Star of Aquarius, healing energy, spending time reflecting so that we can turn our gaze inward and then redirect if we choose to at a later date. Here's Aquarius energy, so you could be the Aquarius. We have the Leaf of Change, and we do have the Seahorse here. And we also have the Monkey. This is something that plagues you. It's like a monkey on our back. And I think of children too with the monkey as well. Now, for someone watching, this is just a message for someone, not for everyone. But after this period of reflection, I keep saying you may still choose ultimately to move forward. They're just asking for a pause at this moment right now. You're not feeling abundant. You're not feeling valued where you are. And so you're wondering if you'll be valued somewhere else. We have this attraction energy. It's some sort of temptation with the lips as well. I do feel like for someone watching, there could be children involved to the situation. But that is what I have for you today, pile number 2. If it resonated with you, I would love to hear your story below in the comment section so that we can get some words of encouragement back to you. You could also check out my Instagram link below or my Etsy link for a personal reading if you feel called to. But I really hope that you come back here for another visit at the Tarot Cottage, and I hope that you have a beautiful day. Hello, pile number 3. You were drawn to the purple leaf, or I'm sorry, leaf or feather, or to the Jane Austen Tarot, and this is your reading. Should you stay or should you leave the situation that you find yourself in? This can be a love situation, a work situation, friendship, whatever the case may be. Should you stay or should you leave? Spirit will give you some tools of reflection today so that you can make a discernible decision, and they'll give you their opinion, but they will follow you down whatever path you choose, pile 3. Should pile 3 stay or should they leave this situation behind? The Ten of Pentacles. You could be talking or worried about a family situation, a connection. You could be also worried about foundations or a position at work that you have kind of reached a top tier, a top level, and there's nowhere else to go. It's like we can't go any further than we have. Four of Pentacles. The Eight of Wands. The Five of Wands. Should pile 3 stay or go? And we have the Nine of Swords. Back of the deck is the Ten of Swords. And we have the Judgment. I just wanted to pause you to relight my candle that went out in that moment. So my candle went out. So let's clarify this message, please. I do feel like there is a really strong energy of fear associated with release. I feel like you're worried about what people will think. And again, this is across the board, whether it's a job, whether it's a relationship. I think you're really fearful of what people will think if you leave behind something that you've invested so much time and effort into. Because we wrap our identity up in other people's expectations and in our roles. Because I feel a lot of insecurity, but it has a lot to do with stuff and practical things and not a lot to do with how we feel emotionally. It's like we're, the collective has this, and not, you know, the woke collective, but the collective has this mentality of prioritizing things over experiences, over feelings. Should you stay? Should you go? And I feel like you're so scared of starting over in some type of way. It's like you're so scared of starting over. You have the Two of Swords, which is adding to your insecurity. Even though you feel the fire underneath you, it's almost like I feel like it's Joan of Arc sitting at the pillar. You can feel the fire underneath you getting hot, which is your, you know, your indication that you should remove yourself from the fire. But it's this fear of other people's expectations weighing down on me and the fear of the unknown. You could even be fearful about financial security too, if you decided to move forward. Spirit is indicating that sometimes we will come up with all sorts of reasons why we cannot break through. It's like we're scapegoating our own energy. It's like we're creating all of these excuses as to why it's too difficult of a task. And we take the path of least resistance when we do that. We think that we're avoiding something, but truly we are just avoiding an inevitable emotional outburst, or we're avoiding, we're turning this chronic, this acute pain that we're feeling into a very chronic one that we end up paying for. Six of Cups. And I also feel like you're being influenced by other realms. I feel like there are people from your past and situations from your past that are making you wonder if you took the right steps in life in the first place, because you feel dissatisfaction here. I feel like you're wondering if you're questioning your decisions that led you here. But Spirit doesn't want you to do that when you're trying to reflect about whether you should go or stay. They want you to instead embrace your entire journey, because it led you to this point. And that means it's perfect. And that means you didn't make any mistakes, because you had lessons. There were no mistakes, there were just educations. And they don't want you to spend too much time looking in the rearview mirror when they want you to make a decision about the future. The Six of Cups too is also really talking about children potentially involved, but also a nostalgia or memories that flood us when we think about severance. And this is just the ego trying to keep us in place. It's a very natural thing for us to be flooded with beautiful memories when we are moving forward. Just think about when someone passes away. Even when someone passes away who's kind of a jerk in life, as soon as they pass away, it's horrible to speak ill of the dead. And it's this sense of they become this saint in the eyes of everyone because of the passing. But Spirit wants us to have more open eyes than that. This is a very natural human feeling to be flooded with nostalgia. They don't want it to dim the fire underneath you. Yeah, they want you to go. That's what they want. They want you to go. Even with your back of deck Ten of Swords, the Judgment. The Judgment is a reflection where we're honest with ourselves and where we're judging everything that happened and everything that brought us to this place of dissatisfaction and everything, all of our fears. And then we resolve to say, you know what, nothing changes if nothing changes, and I can't live a lie. And so it does beg for new beginnings. It does beg for release, because it's combined in this case with the Ten of Swords, which is about letting go of old ideas that the ego keeps telling us we should still be focused on. Because they keep telling us that through these nostalgic memories. They keep flooding us with this remorse, this fear, this worry. But there's truth, bittersweet truths that we can't unsee here. And if we are honest with ourselves and we really trickle down to the truth of the situation, Spirit says that it has less to do with the emotional fear of loss and the physical, practical losses that we're going to experience, and the steps. It's like it feels exhausting to have to take the steps that we're going to have to take. It feels like it's so much easier to just sit where I am. But you can do hard things. That's what they say. You can push through. You can detach from a negative environment that we really are recognizing with the Devil energy is not good for us anymore. And so the Knight of Swords is like, you know what, he's riding on this goat, which reminds me of the Devil Capricorn. It's like, I'm going to ride my insecurity right into a brand new day. And there's so much worry. You're such a worrier. You're worried about more than just yourself. But that's why Spirit wants you to take a moment of inspiration where you're feeling emboldened by confidence and just charge through. It's like ripping off a Band-Aid. Ripping off a Band-Aid. Because your higher self wants you to know that there's so much more waiting for you. There's so much more waiting for you, and she can see the consequences that you're so fearful of. She can see them clearly. She can see how you overcome them, and she wants to remind you of everything that you've done in life that has been hard, that you've powered through. Back of the deck here is the Hanged Man and the Queen of Swords. The Hanged Man, you can see in this case, the toes are all red, inflamed. It's like you have walked through a lot. You've gone through a lot in this situation. And now this Hanged Man energy is asking you to surrender. There's no struggle in the Hanged Man. She can come down whenever she wants to and just walk away. That's all she has to do is walk away. The Queen of Swords here, it's like you've been putting this off. Spirit says you've been putting off the reflection. Sometimes you push it aside, your true feelings. You bury them deep down. You keep them as far away from your crown chakra and your thoughts as possible. You've been putting off this decision. But I feel like if you were really honest with yourself, all of the responsibilities that you carry, I feel like you're doing a lot of it alone anyway. It's like you're already doing so much alone. You're already so independent. You're already so much more capable than what you realize or what you're being honest with yourself about. And the Queen of Swords says, I'm enough and I can do it. And she makes the necessary cuts when she feels called to. And on the other side of this, Spirit just really wants you to understand that there's rebuilding, there's healing, there's refocus, and there's a bigger perspective in store for you where you can look back at what you built here with pride, with a sense of satisfaction and emotional happiness, because you acknowledge, you know, I took that to where it needed to go. I took the steps I was guided to take in this situation, and then I chose in the moment when I needed to take off on a new adventure. And that's okay. You can give yourself that permission. They just want you to know that there's the Queen of Swords again. You could be a Libra, could be a Gemini, an Aquarius perhaps too, but they are really encouraging you to go in this case. And sometimes, you know, they ask for further reflection. They're asking you to, in this case, they're like, the answer is, it has been in front of you. The answer has been in front of you, and we've been putting it off. But it's an acknowledgement here at the Two of Pentacles that you know that this decision has to be made. Ultimately, it has to be addressed. We have here, honor your own feelings. You may be suppressing them or pushing them down and not acknowledging them at times, perhaps for the good of other people. But Spirit wants you to know that other people, especially for instance, if there's children involved, they need to see someone who is fulfilling their own emotional destiny. They need that example. We have here, assess the situation and be real about it at the same time. Sometimes, again, the Ten of Swords brings about epiphanies that we don't want to see, but we need to see. And that's the other message from this reading, is that Spirit's acknowledging that sometimes the messages that they bring forward in these readings are difficult, but they never aim to hurt. They are always aiming to keep you from the path that holds the most amount of pain, especially if it doesn't hold valuable lessons for you and just instead steers you off course from your highest good. So they are encouraging you to be real and open and honest with all involved so that you can step into the light. Should they stay or should they leave, please? It says, go ahead and just do it. Productiveness from the beaver. And the beaver is a very family-oriented creature. It's a really hard worker. So again, it doesn't matter if it's the work realm or a family situation. It's about doing it regardless of those, some of the reasons why we feel like we should hold back. Spirit says, go ahead and just do it. Adapt to the changes that are happening. And we even have clear out the clutter. You're very intuitive. You may not delve into that intuition as much as you think you are, but you're more connected to your guides than you realize through your thoughts, feelings, and emotions. And you have a talent too. If you start to build a rapport with your guides, you can build upon your ability to talk with them more effectively. And they're asking for clearance now. Back of the deck says, you will overcome, you will resolve. You're strong, you're capable. There's a matriarchal energy surrounding you. And there's an acknowledgement here with this tusk being gone that you've already survived so much that this won't be as hard as you think it will be. The consequences that we're so sort of reeling from and fearful of, it's not going to be as tough. Not that it won't be tough, but you have the power to power through. You will overcome and resolve any obstacles because you have endurance and you have stamina and you have courage that you don't give yourself credit enough for. Number 3, please. Should you stay or should you leave? We have here distant dream. The distance calls your heart to roam free. As you dare dream it, so must it be. And this has been, I feel like this has been plaguing you for a long time, or longer than you would like to admit, perhaps. There's been an inclination for movement for quite a while, and we've been putting it off. This distant dream only stays a distant dream until we act upon it. Back of the deck says, three-eyed raven. As sunrise hits upon the dew, a messenger raven calls out with news. Prepare for the unexpected on the other side of this leap. If you choose to surrender here, because Spirit's very adamant, this is their advice. They've given you these tools. They want you to make the discernible decision. This is just their advice. But they say on the other side of this clearance is truth, is clarity, and some unexpected blessings that you didn't anticipate. Let's get a charm bowl for you, pile 3. A charm bowl, please, for pile number 3. Advice from their guides and angels. What's waiting for them on the other side of this severance? The 9 of Swords, that's plaguing you. The Tower. So you may be trying to avoid upheaval, again, whatever the case may be, in your finances, in your career. But I do feel like there's a very strong tie here to a family unit or to a foundation that we have spent a lot of time building and investing in. And that's why we're on the fence. That's why we're overwhelmed with anxiety and overthinking, and we're overthinking, ruminating. But that may be a habit for you, is this ruminating energy without action. And so when we're in a bad, no matter what the habit is, we need to overcorrect in the opposite way. And that's why the Knight of Swords is like, I'm not waiting to gather any more information. I'm not waiting for the next cycle of ruminating energy. I am acting. I'm charging through. Even though I know the consequence may be this tower and upheaval, it is a reminder that that dust will all settle. Everything will come and will turn over into a calm. I don't even know how I want to place this or say it. Everything will just work out. Things will settle down. Any sort of upheaval will eventually calm. Time will take care of that. Whoops. But there's the Knight that just plopped out. It's like, I don't know if I'm ready. I don't know if I'm ready. But Spirit just wants to, lots in the charm today, or lots in the bowl today. They just want to embolden you with the confidence that everything will be okay if you choose to leave. We have the Z, the end of the alphabet, the end of a story, perhaps. We have here 3 music notes. I think a third party when I see that. We have a lot going on here in the bowl today. But I see some really important ones here. We have live, laugh, and love. and finding joy in your journey. And I feel like you have built this family. There's the tree of life. You've built up something profound for yourself that you should be really proud of. And it's like you were creating sort of the perfect environment for other people, which is valuable for other people, but your experience matters as well. We have 4-leaf clover of good luck for you. And if you're worried about other people's futures within the dynamics here, for instance, if it's a person that you're leaving behind, they're going to be okay too. They have luck on their side. We have here, I love you to the moon and back. I think this is from a Sam McBratney book. And I think about children, so children could be a factor here. And it says, give a girl the right shoes and she can absolutely conquer the world. A quote from Marilyn Monroe. We have the key, the heart key, removing ourselves from relationships that are difficult. We have the heart chakra, so revealing ourselves. There could also be a hospital or nursing connection or a caregiver connection. You're very caring. You look after people, perhaps even children. And here's the fawn, so children are a factor, and that could be why you're sitting in the position you're in, because there's a self-sacrificial energy with the honeybee. But they want you to know that you deserve the sweet results on the other side of this leap. We have a tangled heart. We have here a triangle, third party. Again, there could be a third party connection here that's creating this necessity or this desire to leap forward. We have a forget-me-not and a moon, this blue moon with a star. So I really think about reminiscing energy. We have handmade, I think little kids, and then we do have this fishbone, the dark black fishbone. I think about the Ten of Swords. And it's the black one, so it's about surrendering to a release. It's about letting go of expectations and clearing out clutter. All right, pile 3, that's what I have for you today. I hope that it resonates. And I am praying for you as you make this very important decision. Your guides have given you their take on things, but they will follow you down whatever path you choose. But I just hope that you have a beautiful day. If you feel called to, please drop me a comment below so that I can enter you in for a chance to win a free reading with me. You can also check out my links for Etsy below for a personal reading if you feel called to, and I have an Instagram link down there if you just want. I sometimes offer private reading, not private readings, but free chances to win readings on my Instagram account, so be sure to go over and check me out over there. But I hope that you have a beautiful day, and I hope that you come back and visit me at the Tarot Cottage.